There is a risk of us getting hurt? Yes. But who said that preaching the gospel is without a cost? Jesus said, in the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. So this was a prophetic statement by Jesus. Before we even went out, he told us we're going to have problems. But he also told us that we're going to be victorious. We're serving in Tyre, and we know we're going to have the victory. It has been given unto you not only to believe, but also to suffer. If any man would come after me, let him take up his cross, deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. So it's clear in the Bible that when you evangelize, when you tell people about Jesus, you're going to suffer. Now, if God's grace does not permit that for a reason or another, that's good. My wife and I went down to Tyre and we counted the cost. She knew that we could die, and I knew that we could die, and we both knew that our children could be in jeopardy. But we also knew that the God who called us and the God who sent us, He will take care of us. He will protect us. And if the time comes and we have to be offered up for Him to be glorified, then we had no problem with that. That was the mindset that we went down to Tyre with. There were times they put me in prison because I clearly declared that Islam and Christianity are not the same, and they don't lead to the same God. And if you understand anything about Lebanon, this is a no-no, because you're rocking the boat. Everybody wants to live happy with each other in Lebanon. And I stood on public TV in front of 6 million people and I said, Islam is as far from Christianity as hell is far from heaven. And that was enough to put me in prison. They made a scheme about my past and they rolled me in. But I knew that. That was a cost I would pay. Before that, they attacked our van, they hit my wife, they broke the glass of our van as my wife was taking back children from Sunday school. So the cost is there. A few days ago, they broke our signs in Tyre because one Muslim guy was converted and he openly and publicly declared that I'm a Christian. So to me, persecution is part of the game. And any Christian who thinks he can avoid persecution, I think that is not possible. As we've said before, we are in the devil's den. You're attacking the fortress of the devil. The devil is not going to kiss you if you attack him. He's going to attack back. He's not stupid. He's smart. He knows that he cannot be sitting and looking at you. And anytime you try to avoid persecution, you have to do it on the expense of the gospel. You will compromise your stand in order to avoid persecution. And I don't want to compromise my stand. I don't want to compromise the gospel to avoid persecution. Many people, under the pretext of wisdom, say, you have to be wise. I don't know how wise you can be. I don't think we can be more wise than Jesus Christ. He came and he had to be persecuted and he had to die. There was no other way. And for the gospel to spread out and for people to know the truth, we have to die too. For the Muslim people to know Christ, we have to die. There has to be a line of martyrs, I think, in the future before these people understand that there's a God that loves them. If we're not ready to pay that cost, I don't think anything's going to happen. Sometime we have to pay that cost. And I think for the 100 years that passed, we're postponing the payment. But Christianity was spread in the first century church by the blood of the martyrs. People died, that's how Christianity was spread. That's how we conquered. Today, in order to conquer, we have to be ready to die. People ask me in churches, what makes a good missionary? And my answer is always, Are you ready to die? If you're not ready to die, pack it and go home. Don't be a missionary. Stay where you are. You have to be ready to die to be a missionary. And I think this was the life theme of every missionary, successful missionary. They were ready to die for Jesus. And so my desire is to see the church wake up and stop being complacent and realize that today it's open doors in the Middle East. Opposite of what CNN tells you on Fox News. They are focusing on few Americans being killed as if this is the end of the world to them. And we categorize sin and we say, oh, wow, that's bad what's happening with ISIS in the Middle East. But I want to ask a simple question. Every single day in abortion clinics, you take babies and throw them in the dumpster. These are not humans. They're not dying. What's the difference between a lady that takes a baby and throws him in the dumpster and an ISIS man who beheads a man? In fact, what did this infant have of a choice? He had no choice. You killed him. The guys who died in Syria or beheaded, they had a choice not to go. They chose to take that adventure, and that was the price for their adventure. And so we categorize sin in order to excuse ourselves. It's bad in the Middle East. We can't go there because they kill people. They kill people in America. These people, they need us. They need us to love them. And love is intentional. It's not natural. It's not in our nature to love. We're selfish. We have to intend to love. We have to seek a way to penetrate into their societies and love them, just like what we're doing in Tyre. We take every opportunity to show love. Every opportunity. Nobody knocks our door and gets out with nothing. Always they'll have something. Because this is love. Even sometimes at the expense of us getting a loan to help people. I remember 3 months ago, I had a young man come to me. He's a Muslim. And he said, Mr. Mohammad, my wife is in the hospital and I need $200 to get her out. Would you help me? I said, no problem. I went to the hospital, paid the bill. He got his wife out. 2 days later, he comes to me, he says, Mr. Mohammad, do you have a big cross? I said, Hassan, why do you need a big cross? He says, I want to hang it on my neck. And I want to tell my people that the God of the Christians helped me and your God did not help me. This gives God glory. You see, this is why we're there. To glorify God. To honor Him and lift Him up. That's why we're there. That's why we are in the world. To go the extra mile. I think people are tired of us telling them Jesus loves you. They want to see how Jesus loves me. Show me how Jesus loves me. You know? I want to see how. And I think we're very good at speaking the truth, but not applying it. And we don't want to apply it. We think that it's enough to tell people the gospel. That's not true. Because this is not what Jesus did. I remember the disciples, after Jesus finishing his intercourse with the multitude, they said, okay, chief, let's pack it, send them home. And Jesus said, send them where home? These people are hungry, they want to eat. But you told them the message, you told them the gospel. Why should we feed them? Let them go home. And we're like the disciples today. We like to send people home. We don't want to get into the trouble of feeding them and taking care of them and worrying about them. We're too busy. We are so entangled with the affairs of this world that we have no time to love anymore. We need to make time to love. We need to start realizing why Jesus left us on this earth. The reason we exist as Christians on this earth is to shine. You are the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men that they might see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. We are a people of good works. That's why we're here. For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. That's Paul. This is from the Bible. I'm not making up this. The reason we are here is to live for Christ, regardless of what is our profession. As a doctor, I'm here to live for Christ. As a pastor, I'm here to live for Christ. As a businessman, I'm here to live for Christ. In my profession, Christ has to be glorified and declared. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to accumulate wealth. I'm not here to earn degrees. I'm not here to do any of these things. Today in the Middle East, it's open doors. The Muslim world is in despair. The brothers are killing each other. Young people are helpless and hopeless. They are looking for an alternative. The alternative is not there because we are afraid. We need to start bringing the alternative home to them. We need to go. We need to start invading the Middle East with love, not with cruise missiles. We need to erect lighthouses for Jesus Christ. And that's what I am in. We started in Tyre, now we're moving to Jordan, and to every place we can, we are going to erect a lighthouse for Jesus Christ. A door for people to enter in and know the love of God. That's my vision for the Middle East. And that vision I wanted to share with churches in America today. I say to the churches in America, stop being complacent. Rise up to the challenge that God has placed in front of you today. Today it's open doors. Revelation chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, I have set before you an open door, which no man will shut. And it's interesting that God set open doors in front of the church of Philadelphia. The word Philadelphia means brotherly love. It takes love to take advantage of open doors. No love, no open doors.